This is a game changer for the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. This is a project that my administration has been working on for 2 years. We have been quietly working with the Department of Transportation. We had to make a decision, do we go all in or do we do different little bits and pieces for the Federal Department of Transportation? We decided to put the whole project in one big. We're either going to go big or go home. And the good news is we went big, and we're not going home, but now if you go home, you'll be able to get home a lot quicker because the announcements that I'm actually making today, we just received notification of a $165 million grant from the Federal Department of Transportation. This is out of their new Fast Lane project. Now you should understand that there was $800 million total in the pot for the entire United States of America. So for all 50 states, there was $800 million, and I'm very proud, and I want to thank Secretary Fox, who was so helpful to us on this, that the state of Virginia got 20% of the entire pot for the United States of America. and why that is, a little gentle persuasion, which is always important, but also I believe we had the best project. This affects all modes of transportation. It is freight, it is passenger rail, obviously road transportation. This really impacted everybody, and we put it all in this package together. In addition, it's a $1.4 billion project. So the 165, I want to thank CSX, I want to thank Transurban, who are putting up $565 million. So it's state money, it's federal money, and it's private money to do what we are doing here today. And it is a real game changer for the Commonwealth. We will begin construction. We have a 60-day period that Congress has to look at what federal DOT put in the package, and I assume the Congress will be fine with it, as they always are. But once that is done, we will begin immediately to move ahead, and we will begin construction beginning next year, which is a major. We are not waiting on this. We're going to get shovels in the ground and begin this project. And let me tell you what we're actually announcing. As you know, it's a game changer for Fredericksburg. On 95, let me talk about that first. We are now going to take 95 north, 7 miles to the Potomac River, which has been a huge congestion point for us. We are going to do new avenues of ingress and egress to the Pentagon, new transit opportunities for all the federal employees who work at the Pentagon. So 7 miles north and south, we are now going to take the express lanes 10 miles to Fredericksburg. I don't think I have to tell anybody here the problem. We love the express lanes, but as you know, in the Garrisonville exit, we have that flyway, which has done nothing but cause a tremendous amount of congestion. So now we will come all the way 10 miles south, now on 95, down all the way to Fredericksburg. Madam Mayor, this is a game changer for Fredericksburg, I can tell you that. So that people can now get on. You'll be able to add to what we already have there today. So 17 total new miles of express lanes is what we're building. In addition, the Rappahannock River has been another big choke point for us. We will be building a new bridge southbound with 2 new lanes over the Rappahannock River. And with all of this construction we're doing, we are also going to use the latest high-tech technology that we have for the new autonomous vehicles. Our point being is, if we are now going to move to these driverless vehicles, autonomous vehicles, we should take the lead here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Ultimately, we would like the manufacturing being done here. You can only get manufacturers to come to show we're actually serious. So all this new road work that we're going to do is going to make huge capacity for us for the autonomous vehicles, which is a new 21st century. What I talk about constantly is building that new Virginia economy. For 2.5 years, I have been working tirelessly to try to bring new jobs to the Commonwealth of Virginia. I have just announced our 728th project since I've been governor. We have brought in $12.6 billion of new capital investment to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Not that I'm counting, but that is $5 billion more than any governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Not that I'm counting, and we're just getting warmed up. I spend my time traveling. In fact, I'll leave here and I will head to the plane for Israel. I will then go over to London on a new trade mission for some new jobs announcements that I will be able to make. 95% of the world's customers live outside the United States of America. We can bring these jobs here, but you cannot bring these jobs here if people are stuck in traffic all day. If it takes you 2 hours to go see your kids play a ball game, they will go elsewhere. But the other huge part is what we try to do is increase our commercial capacity, and our rail announcements today are historic. We are announcing today that we will invest $500 million in rail, which is the single largest investment in the Commonwealth's history in rail. This is not only freight, but also passenger. What we will now do is begin the process of rebuilding the Long Bridge, which is the choke point for the entire east coast of the United States of America. Right now, going up Virginia, headed into DC, you go over the Long Bridge. It is the choke point that stops all passenger and freight. Right now, if you want to leave Norfolk or Richmond to head up to DC, if there is a freight train on the tracks, which is owned by CSX, the passenger train has to wait. On average, it takes you 5 hours to travel from Richmond up to Union Station in Washington, D.C. That is not what people are going to do. So what we are now doing is building 14 miles of new track with CSX, so that now if a freight is there and passengers behind it, they can move over and use those 14 miles. So what we are announcing today, you will have dedicated new Amtrak trains to go from Norfolk, Charlottesville, Roanoke, Richmond, all the way up and down this corridor with designated, reliable times. We will tell you what time you get on Amtrak, and most importantly, you will now know that you will get at your destination at the stated scheduled time. This is huge for the Commonwealth of Virginia to open up all of these different communities for us, absolutely critical. And the other major announcement today is that for the first time ever, we've actually negotiated a deal with CSX. Virginia will take possession of the S-Line, which is from Richmond, Petersburg into Raleigh, North Carolina. That will now become the Commonwealth's possession. And this now will allow us to begin to move forward for high-speed rail through the Commonwealth of Virginia. Before this action was taken, it was a mere pipe dream. It was all talk. Now we will actually own that line. So we have made so many improvements. I want to thank CSX. I want to thank Transurban. I want to thank all my folks. I know that Grinley Johnson, my Deputy Secretary of Transportation, Nick Donahue, and I want to thank my Secretary of Transportation, Aubrey Lane, and his team who've worked so hard to make all of this possible. I thank you for being here today. But what we are announcing today, $1.4 billion to affect all modes of transportation, to open up every community in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We are building that new Virginia economy, and we are making us the greatest state and the greatest nation on earth even a little better today. Thank you for being here with us today.